seen the Shapers back in action. I had way too much video to put in that. I would have had an hour-long movie there. Or I'd have to cut it in 2 parts, and I kind of wanted to do the Shaper and get it running in one. So, this is everything that you missed. Oh yeah, I keep looking over at it again. This is everything that you missed. I'll take apart the knee, I'll stone it, I'll stone the ways, I'll scrape them with a razor blade before I do that. And you guys kind of get to see what I went through and what I cleaned up and what condition it was in. Okay? So, if you'd like to see that on this Atlas 7-inch Shaper, stay tuned. I haven't started on, I guess, what we'll call is the knee and or cross slide. There's the gib, and here's the inside of it here. I mean, everything looks fairly clean. There's just a little bit of buildup of gunk, but there's these really fine shims inside here, and there was some paint buildup, just, I don't know if you can see inside there, in the edge inside there. That was part of the buildup on the cross slide, but like I say, it's nobody's fault but mine because I didn't do what I'm doing now. I'm going to scrape everything off, I'm going to stone it, we're going to oil it up really good, and I'm going to put her back together. I got the vise nice and clean, everything under it nice and clean. You can, except for the smudges I'm leaving, you can see all the original machine marks on there. And I'm not going to paint this, even though it was Atlas Gray. And the way this happened was a dummy me used a little bit of this Berryman B12 Chem tool. Yeah, it's not too nice with paint. So that's how that started. Yes, it was Rust-Oleum. I repainted the clicker box. I'll detail it. I taped over everything that shouldn't be painted. So, and I got them really close to the original colors. We're also going to go ahead, once we take the tape off of this, the numbers on here are super crisp, so I'm going to put some red paint on them, and I'm just going to run a stone over the top of them just to clean up the red paint after it dries, so all the numbers will be filled with red paint. At least that's my plan. Here's the box. This was the top. This is the only one that I really cleaned and stoned. It turned out pretty nice. I haven't cleaned this, the back side. I haven't touched it. There's the other side. I just kind of went over it a little bit, just with a Scotch-Brite. But she's clean. A little bit dirty on the back, but not bad. The threads inside the nut look good. I'll take these off here, and the gib screws, clean them up, put them back in, and I'll clean up the mating surfaces and put this back in, and that's all we're going to, well, we'll clean and stone this too, but that's all we're going to do. I do not plan on stripping this. Now, most of this up here is pretty clean, but I'll get this down a little bit. See, it comes off really easy, and that's what got jammed up underneath that thing. They come up pretty darn easy. And I was doing silly stuff like this, and I was taking the paint off the screws, and I didn't want to pull the screw out because there's a bracket behind it. I didn't. I just kind of took the paint off the screws. These I took out and cleaned them off individually. I can't help it. I just got a thing about paint being on nuts and bolts and screws and that kind of stuff. For for some reason it just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know. I guess I just don't like to cover up a nice piece of metal. Especially when these doggone things, nobody's had a screwdriver on them. There's no dent in the lip like someone had a tip that was too small trying to shove it in there and loosen this thing up. Nobody's messed with it. But this little oiler here was painted over. Go. So I'll leave that right where it's at. Now we've got the knee here, or cross slide. I'm just trying to clean the give off here a little bit. Looks like it's in really nice shape. Here's where I was telling you that we got these shims. I got to be really careful with these because they're gonna snap on me and curl up. And if this is the one that has the real thin, yeah. So what I'm going to do here, so I'm just going to put these bolts back in here. Hold this while I take the part over onto the wheel and see if I can clean this up just a tad. So there's just very minor staining on this thing, very minor. Couple burrs. Had to come back here and show you. I flipped, can't even talk again. I flipped the cross slide around, and when I took this other piece off of this side here, you can see where the paint bled down in between it. So this wasn't even tight, but these screws were all the way down. They were bearing down on the give in here, and it just wasn't a good thing because that was probably had something to do with it not sliding easy also. But I know it comes down to it. I should have looked at it first. I know. So I'm going to get back to cleaning as soon as I can find my blade. I don't know what the heck I did with it. These are laminated shims here. So I'll go ahead and stone this, clean this up, get it all put back together, flip it over, and then I'll bring you back. This is getting to be a fun job. I'm putting the Gibbs screws back in it now. Okay. Nice. Get this all stuff out from inside here. Put it back on here. Okay. I don't know how much longer my battery's got, but let's see if I can do this here without springing this all over the place. I gotta take these off again. Okay. That's the close. This is the far side. There we go. Well, and that's all there is. It's pretty uneventful putting this cross slide back on here. Well, it seems to work okay. So the next step would be to put on the box. There we go. Well, here's the box. We're going to go ahead and take off these here, and I think I'm just going to clean them all up and bring them back. I don't think I'm going to do anything too serious unless there's any marks on them. Let's see if I can at least keep this from springing out of here. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, because I really don't want to mess these up. But wow, this one's not springing out at me, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it the way it is, and I'll take this over to the wheel and clean it up, and I'll do the same to the other one there. A little bit, not much wear. You can just see, you can see where it's moving. I'll bring you back when I got them cleaned up. And here we're just cleaning up the nut just a little bit. I put a little oil on that and work it through. Everything looks pretty good in here. blade here. Do the other one. This here's the top, if you haven't guessed, of the box. I thought I'd go over it again just before I put everything on there. There, that looks a little better. But you know what I want to do now is I want to do both sides. I want to make them look like the top. I can't help it. Here we've got the table, box. Nice and clean. A little bit of staining on the far side there, but I think most of it's there. Oil, dirty oil that I got on it because of my hands, and that paint came off the bottom of it, so that's the way it's going to stay. And that's the end now. I'm just going to leave it just like that. I'm not going to repaint this, so the paint starts coming off of here, I'm just going to leave it and leave it bare metal. But she's ready to go back on. Good deal. When I took this thing out, you can only get one side or the other on first. You have to pull it back this way and get these two on, and then, oh, there we go. Go back the other way and get the other ones on. There we go. We'll get these two on here anyway. I don't want to get this shim all messed up. Just a little bit snug, just so it doesn't move around. And I got this here. It looks like this was beat just a little bit by something, so I took a real fine file and I tried to smooth that down best I could without getting too much off of there. Yeah, it looks like a tiny bit more rolled over, but that's not on the side that touches anything. That's on the back side anyway. So that's where we're at right now. I'll go ahead and assemble the rest and I'll get right back with you. Sorry, bumped the camera again. Screws in it. I just had them up here so I can. There we go. Yeah, I shouldn't have any problem with this now. We'll go ahead and give it a run when we're done here. I'm not going to tighten this up until I get it all on here. Make sure it rotates freely. very, very, very nice. I like that. My battery light's flashing, but I gotta tell you this. There's a sequence to putting this thing together. You gotta put the housing on for the clicker. You have to put the arm up behind it and hold it up and push the shaft, the threaded end of the shaft through the clicker housing to the back and then put the nut on it. So that's what I was doing wrong. I was thinking it's a 1/4 inch short just about, and I'm having a cow over here. But anyway, like I say, my battery light's coming on right about now, so I don't know how much longer it'll last. So I'll try to make it quick. Okay. Just making sure there's no surprises. Rotates nicely. Cool. Everything works as it should so far. Now we can put this back on here. And put the arm back on here. There's my washer. And my bolt. Clicker's back on, yay. Oh, almost. There we go. I'm going to dig up some wrenches out of my extra wrench box over there. And I know this is the same size as the vise and the tool post. So let's let's put a little bit of oil in it. Let's get them empty. Oh, I know that goes in there. Alright, I checked it. I'm almost out of oil here. I have to run over to Napa. Okay, where'd my handle go? Oh, I'm cranking it with it. Let's give this thing some kind of a stroke to click on. I don't have any tension on this cross rod right now. I didn't set the play, so it turns real easy. Neutral, and then right. Oh. Yeah, it's just that needs to be set. The thrust, there we go. I was trying to think of it. I've just got 15 things on my mind, and it usually can't have no more than 3 or 4, so I'm in trouble. Well, thanks for watching. The next video for sure will be the start of the South Bend 9 and the upgrades I'm going to do to it. So be sure to come back to see the South Bend 9 get her upgrades, okay? And hopefully we can get rid of all those striations every time I try turning something. I think the thrust was off. I know the bearing spacing was off, so it's got to be better than that when we get done with it. Maybe. I'll see you next time. Blighted Ron's Garage. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Man, that was the last bag of M&M's.